Welcome back to ESL One Katowice 2018. Day number 3 has dawned. We are almost ready for our first draft of the day. It's knockout elimination day here in Katowice, where 3 teams will go home at the end of these matches. 3 will also advance on. Not quite all the way into the semi-finals or the quarters just yet. Some have got a longer road than that. And the 2 teams that go head-to-head next are very, very focused on the job at hand. Also focused, we are on the panel right now, and we're also focused on the Mercedes-Benz MVP, which is now officially open. You can go and check that out right now on the website. You could vote now, or you could be sneaky, bookmark it, and then come back to it at the end of the day and then vote, and then do it again tomorrow and again the next day. They don't tell you that, but you could. You could. Not, you know, advocating that, but you could. Anyway, we'll move on to our first game of the day. The draft is just around the corner. 7th place, 16th in the DPC list right now. We're talking about Evil Geniuses going head-to-head with the local home hero boys from Kinguin, hoping to make it inside the Spodek Arena and play in front of a packed crowd. Can they do it, I guess, is my question to our panel members this morning. Is it possible that Kinguin can make it all the way there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, with the whole entire storyline so far has been like, EG hasn't been looking so hot, right? They lost to Complexity 2 times in a row. Complexity bombed out of this tournament. They got beat by LGD in a best-of-1. It's kind of unfair, any of these best-of-1s, but their win so far is against Infamous. Like, there's nothing good to say about that either, right? So it just seems like EG has the potential to do well, or they could just bomb out of the tournament like we've seen so many.
But Alan's already said we're not allowed to use that word anymore when it comes to EG. They've got to start delivering.
I mean, it was a little sarcastic when I was talking about potential, right? Because at a certain point in time, right, it's like...
It's got to stop, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got to stop.
Yeah,
so.
okay.
I just figured you were sick of saying that EG has the potential to do X. That's
we recorded him saying that. We just replay it back every panel segment that caps on now.
It's like newbie. They're going to play second place again. You know, like... I was tired of that storyline. I was tired of that storyline, and then they fixed it, right?
They did.
They won Genting.
They did. Maybe EG can fix that here then. Alan, they've got the players. Obviously, we know that. And as we head towards the draft, it was interesting. We were looking at the comparative top 3 most picked over the last 3 months for each of the 10 players in this team. There's only 1 hero that crosses over. 1.
The Puck?
The Bane.
Oh, the Bane.
Which they even play differently on both teams as well. They play Misery on the Bane on the EG, and they play as a 4 in Kinguin. So. Even so, that's weird, right? That's not. We don't normally find that. We normally compare the teams. And you go, oh, they've got lots of crossover here, and there's a DK here, and there's a DP here, and there's usually a few heroes. Yep. They've got 1 hero that crosses over. That's mad.
And even the heroes that do cross over, like you say, they run them in very different ways. The Puck was the example to me because Kinguin are the only team that I can think about that only run Puck as a support. Katsor is the only player that they've run Puck on since January 1st, and he's 6-2 on the hero. He goes that double null build, gets the early Veil, which I think is going to be even easier with some of the support build changes. And I really like, you know, Z-Freak obviously is the other one that we talk about playing that hero in that role, but I really like what it brings to the table. EG, as we've been talking about, the knock on this EG to me is that unlike past iterations of the team, they haven't looked nearly as good when they've been knocked out of their comfort zone. And Kinguin, a team that specializes in doing just that.
Yeah, and they play such an odd brand of it as well. So there's the potential to catch them out both in the draft and in playstyle, isn't it?
Well, I think EG is going to encourage them to run support Puck. I'm not sold on that yet. I think that it's going to have some gaps or some losses.
Guys, totally play support Terrorblade.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily sure how EG will react. Yeah, they have Bane crossover, and that was a prioritized hero yesterday, but I think there's still going to be more shift in meta right now. It's going to be towards Dragon Knight. I think the teams are going to fight over that. There's always still Naga Siren. There's a lot of strong heroes like that everybody can play a little bit that should be willing to try out and see if they can make it work.
If Brewmaster gets knocked out in the first 3, then I think that Sanking is going to be a hero that could be contested. We've already seen, I think EG have run it twice so far this tournament, and it is definitely a Kinguin hero. I feel like Patos is best when we're playing team fighters.
Yep.
Sanking and Brewmaster for me are like his heroes.
Brewmaster was one of the big heroes that I had highlighted looking at Kinguin stats before the tournament. They're 7-2 with Patos on the Brewmaster. Brewmaster, though, only 1-9 so far in this event. The stats are skewed a little bit. He was picked by Effect and Infamous, but there were some Brewmaster games. I believe Newbie lost with it.
It's like that's the Tiny stat, right? Like Tiny's really bad right now because people are giving it to Infamous.
There's also rather exotically, the exotic deer.
Oh my goodness.
Who, his top 3 right now, one of them's not that much of a size. The first 2 are Lone Druid and Brood.
Yeah.
He's 2 most picked in the last 3 months. So they've got to be careful. EG have got to be mindful of that, haven't they?
Space creators, though.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about in the opening, that this is a team that if they can consistently create space for Nisha, he will win the game, similar to what EG's trying to do with Arteezy.
I think that I think it's very likely that in one game of this best of 3, EG will encourage Kinguin to pick Lone Druid. They will oblige picking up in the first one too, and EG will try and counter pick it with Coddle, because I think Coddle fits really well into EG's lineup, and it's one of the better counters against the Lone Druid.
It also helps that there's other examples of teams beating it easily. I think you can just go back and watch the Vici Gaming games, I believe, where they played OG. I think they're going to be confident about this. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see whether the plan and the higher skill of EG can end up beating Kinguin easily.
What's going to happen with the previous man that we just saw on screen, Artur? I mean, Gyro's his most picked over the last 3 months. That's been very popular. It's proved to be pretty effective here as well. Are they going to try and get him on that?
You know, I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with that hero, because they do, if you look at their farm distributions as the game goes on, Artur does tend to get way out in front in a lot of these games, and Gyro's not necessarily one of those heroes. He's good at all phases of the game, but he's not necessarily, oh my god, their Gyro is massive, we're not going to win. It's not like a Terrorblade that's just going to go and kill your base all by itself. So I actually I prefer Artur on the more classic hard carries, like the Medusa, which he's 5-0 on, like the Terrorblade.
I would say one negative of that, though, is that if you're playing against a team that might do something kind of weird, it's nice to have somebody on a hero that can be good at all stages.
Yes.
If he's playing Medusa, there's pressure potential, there's lane lackings, but Gyro's just good always, so it does end up getting banned. But I think that vein of thought is still worth pursuing for EG against a team that's ranked lower than them.
Yep. Another big ban here. Kinguin, having done their homework, banning out the Bounty Hunter. 8-1 is Evil Geniuses. And Kinguin will take the Omni Knight themselves off. It's a very common first pick from them, but it also functions as a 4th ban. It's Sumail's 2nd most played behind the Beastmaster.
Are they baiting Brew? They just straight up picked Omni, and Brew's
I think
still
so.
in the pool.
I think so, because if you look at Kinguin, the other thing that they do is that another big hero for them is the Rubik. I think they want the Omni Rubik, or potentially another Razor's out, so EG will take...
Thank God.
Did we call it, guys?
I think that was
Did we call it?
straight out of the playbook, that was.
I think you guys talked about Beastmaster off the screen, though.
Oh, did we?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was-
okay.
that's
We-
all
I
we
think we
went
brought
live.
it up in the
Yeah.
No, I-
pregame show a little bit.
A little
It's
bit,
like
yeah.
I brought
the
up that he
example
was Sumail's 9-1 on him, and that I think Sumail just, it's like somebody showed him the 4 and Axis build on this hero, and he was just like, oh, I can play Beastmaster in the off lane like I used to play my Storm Spirit in the mid lane. He's just, every wave he is up in the face of the enemy carry, spamming those axes, and it's looked like in a couple of these NA games where they're not necessarily used to playing against Sumail's Beastmaster, the enemy carry is walking around like, wait a minute, I'm against a Beastmaster in lane, why am I half HP?
Yeah, Sumail, basically when he started practicing into the offlane, he wanted to be old 11. Basically what he wanted to be. He wanted to be like kind of run at you all the time. He wanted to be very suicidal in the offlane, because he felt like the death doesn't really matter what you gain out of the lane in return for the death. Like 2 or 3 times, you die once or twice, but then you win the lane afterwards, and you've also created a lot of space for your team. Here, EG, most of the times, though, have been actually guarding him a lot, right? This is probably going to be some weird safe lane, Beastmaster and Coddle lane, or, like, they're definitely pairing these two up no matter what. But it just depending on what the matchup is, they could even put this in the safe lane. But we did see that countered pretty heavily. We saw that going up against the Gyrocopter Chen from LGD, and they actually, I think,
That was the weird
no.
game, though, where they dodged. They actually had Chen in a different lane.
it was Sand King
Yeah.
Coddle. That's what
Okay.
they had. Because I remember they were ensnaring into homing missile. It was pretty sick plays, actually, from LGD destroying that lane.
Well, with the TP pickup, he's going to be pretty survivable against Axe Spam in lane, so it's kind of an interesting, useful pick then against Beastmaster, since his axes are all physical. And the other bans are just early game tempo heroes, Enchantress as well as Witch Doctor. They haven't banned out Chen, so apparently they don't worry about the Chen too much, but...
What you're seeing here is both teams having really specifically prepared for the opponent. Kinguin using the Omni as sort of a 4th ban going into the first stage. Very similar here to the Rubik. This is a key hero for Kinguin, especially with the kind of lineup they have. I really like it against the Omni Knight and taking it away. Tusk, another big hero for Kotzor, but not one that they've had a lot of success with recently. Pulling it up here, yeah, they're only 1-6 in their last 7 games with Kotzor and that hero.
Pugna is still out there against the Terrorblade. That's an EG hero.
I feel like we've seen a lot of Pugnas lose so far. I don't know if it's telling of other things. Maybe the worst teams are picking it, but it seems like it just doesn't. It works well against Terrorblade, but if anyone else is there, it just seems not so strong.
No, it was the Liquid had the game, the last game against Vici. They had kind of the awkward 5th pick Pugna.
Yeah.
It's 2-2 so far.
Yep.
I really like it when EG run it because they have the aggressive front line in Sumail, and it creates a lot of space for the Pugna to be able to work around, and it's a supporting hero in a way to the Beastmaster as well because you can life drain him. I don't know, I feel like this Terrorblade, despite being like, we keep on talking about the Ramsey's interview where he talked about Terrorblade arguably being the best carry right now, good at every part of the game. I feel like he's really countered. You've got Coddle, you're going to have the Rubik stealing the Omni Knight spells, maybe Guardian Angel, even just the heal is really big to prevent the single target focus of Terrorblade, and you still have a 4th and 5th pick from EG. So I'm not sure how I feel about this, especially since Kinguin most of the time, like this is probably going to be a niche hero and they're just going to heavily focus this on it.
Well, there you go. The hero of the tournament so far, Dragon Knight. Quite possible that you'd see either Arteezy or Fear playing that hero. Not a hero that they've run a lot. 0-1, only one game, and Fear lost that game since January 1st.
Well, they need a tower hitter either way, and Dragon Knight's a really good way to do it. He'll be amplified by Beastmaster Aura, and tons of disables on their team between Rubik and Dragon Knight and Beastmaster. It's so important to have that against a Terrorblade.
All right, this is a really, really big hero for Kinguin. I know we had our discussion about Nature's Prophet the other day. I actually agree that Nature's Prophet gets in a lot of awkward situations in the meta right now, but Kinguin is so confident with this hero. Exotic Deer will be on that hero, and he is marvelous in lane. He actually took apart KP's, which is it's not the easiest hero matchup, but he took apart KP's Brewmaster the other day in that win against Newbie.
Yeah, we'll see if they can push enough early tempo so that he doesn't run into the late game problems. That's what they're going to have to do with it.
I just love to see when you have the tier 2 team coming up, and EG is prepared for this. They're going to know what's coming, but I love to see them get a chance to show their strength.
I feel like Furion isn't good though against it's not good against the Coddle, and I feel like it's not particularly threatened against either one of these cores. Both the Dragon Knight and the Beastmaster, actually, they in some ways like what the Furion is when he's in fights.
Yep.
The split pushing
Completely
aspect
agree.
is a little bit annoying, but again, they have a Coddle to deal with the split pushing aspect, as well as Beastmaster. Beastmaster's super good at being able to play this split push game.
No, I completely, again, it's one of those things, I completely agree with you, Cap, that if you hide the 2 team names, you're going, what are they doing picking Furion here? But Kinguin just has such confidence in this hero and Exotic Deer's ability to flat out win his lane.
And he would be in a lane against Beastmaster, which maybe is Beastmaster favored.
I think it's totally fine, because you just axes and kill treants.
Right,
You kill
they have
treants
no
really
armor, and
that's
if you get a little bit
how
of
Sumail likes to play anyway.
if you get a movement speed advantage and you're on top of Prophet, you will not trade better. The one good thing I do see about the Prophet though is pairing it with Tusk seems good, because then whenever Tusk roams on the map and dives a hero, Prophet can always be there to add on top of that. Maybe it won't be enough to kill a Dragon Knight when his armor is high and all you're doing is right-clicking with Nature's Prophet, but I believe I looked at the post-game from the game they played against, who did they beat? I can't
Infamous?
remember. No,
Kinguin?
their first
Newbie.
match. When they beat Newbie, he went Orchid, and I could see an Orchid working, at least. Allow them, like, really all they need to do is get a crucial catch on somebody like Coddle, and it does allow them to continue pushing. So Prophet could potentially help that if somehow they do a smoke initiation or something. Maybe, like, he'll be more mobile. Maybe they can make kills on Rubik and Coddle.
So looking ahead to the 5th picks here, I think in a vacuum, the ideal pick for EG here would be kind of a dead lane hero for Artur, like a Lone Druid, something very difficult to gank, but that's not something that they run. Looking at Artur's hero pool, the Shadow Fiend and the PL are still there, which are a little bit easier to kill. I think the PLs probably would be my bet at this point.
I don't think you want to
don't
do
like
it
it,
against the Terrorblade.
Yeah.
They've
It could work.
yeah, they've picked that matchup in the past. I also still want to bring up the Medusa, who Artur is 5-0 on. The Storm Spirit's a possibility, but I think he's too vulnerable to pressure in the laning phase.
I'm actually okay with Dusa and Pugna. I'm still backing that Pugna.
I think Pugna is really good, but I think it's a risk. because I think
no,
he gets ganked. He gets chain ganked.
I'm not sold on Druid
Kinguin
either.
ban the lone Druid. All right.
I feel Druid's pretty hard to kill on Kinguin's side, I guess, would have been the benefit, but he also needs some farm to get things done. But I guess EG's other 4 would be very good at moving. Yeah, I guess that would have worked fine. I mean, I think all of your suggestions are reasonable, Nahas. I think it could be PL, it could be Dusa.
My favorite part about EG's lineup is that I feel like it's countered this so much, and it's still very open. They could still go for the late game hero. They could still just push Kinguin out of there. Like, they could just dominate the first 20 minutes of this game.
And there it is. Okay, so the one that again, this sort of dead lane hero concept, the one that I didn't mention, Artura's 2-in-1 on it, is the Morphling. And I just love the Jakiro pick from Kinguin. Again, we're going with our strats. We're going to run, it's game 1 of a best of 3. We got a little bit to play with here. We're going to run our stuff.
I love the Morphling pick as well, because there's been a lot of thought about what are carries that contribute at all stages of the game. Morphling does need a lot of farm, but if he gets something like an E-Blade, he has this like solo kill potential that no other carry can really output right now without a little bit of backup. So I think Morphling is something that is ready to be explored at this turn.
Okay, let's get some
metamorphosis.
Let's get some predictions. Cap.
I was with EG from like the first 3 picks of their draft. I feel like Kinguin showed their cards way too early.
Yeah. Okay. You like EG for this one, Kev?
I like the EG draft. I think Morphling, as long as he gets good early game, that he can absolutely dominate this game.
Okay, warning. Statistically, strategically, the pick here is EG. I am going to go with Kinguin because I think this team plays these 5 heroes really well.
Okay, 1 for Kinguin, 2 for Evil Geniuses. Talking of Evil Geniuses, we've got a couple of those in the commentary booth right now. Good morning, gents. How you doing?
Not too bad, Red.
So I did there?
I did. I mean, I think it's a sort of a compliment, I guess.
It's kind of, it was meant as a compliment.
Yeah.
It was meant as a compliment.
I'll take it.
Okay, all right.
We'll
Are you splitting there? Are you 1 for each team, or are you both going one side?
I'm looking forward to seeing the Polish boys do well, but I think
let's do it.
Let's go.
Good. Let's
Come
do this.
Come on, Poland.
Enjoy,
That's
boys.
what I'm saying. Well, but we'll see, because obviously Evil Geniuses, they've got these scary heroes. They have got this Morphling, which we've seen in the past. Out of all the teams that have actually dared to sort of dabble with the Morphling as of late, EG have been the best with it.
I think it's an interesting hero because in this game, it's going to be one of the better ways to deal with Omni Knight. That was the counter for a while before they nerfed the ever-living hell out of it. So you're rooting for Kinguin?
I'm rooting for neither side.
Bias.
I'm not a biased caster, Blitz.
Bias.
I'm an even man. I like to see good Dota, and I'm sure both teams are going to give it to us. And it's all very exciting, of course, down in the bottom half of the tournament between these two teams.
Oh, that's
EG,
hype.
you know, this is
If EG wins,
if EG
they get one
wins.
more step further. If Kinguin wins, you know, they might be able to play in front of their hometown crowd. If EG loses, everyone will spam the meme.
What's the meme?
You punks are never satisfied, are you?
It's a good meme.
EG is still
You
not
know,
top
that's
tier.
one thing that you gotta love about the boys on EG. They always provide you stuff like that. Like
I mean,
Samel's actually a memeology genius.
Yes,
This is why I love
I think
him.
that's hilarious.
I think Samel does too. You know, he knows that he's
does.
created something
I said,
beautiful.
did you see the Reddit threads about it? And he says, I don't read Reddit. I just did it to see what would happen. Like, I thought it'd be funny.
I hope he does it again. You know?
I think so. I hope so too.
I hope he wins this series and we get another Samel tweet. We know that tweet's sort of a bit, you know, that's at least 2 weeks old.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
We
we
need
need
to-
something new.
We need to update it.
We need some more fire, some more fuel.
I'll try to
from
convince
Samel.
like Artur to make the next one.
Go for it.
You punks are
If
still
he
not-
wins, I want to see you messaging him and
Okay.
telling Arteezy to send some hot stuff out on the social medias. But so yeah, Arteezy Morphling, Fear Dragonite. We've got to talk about this, Will. Before this match, I was downstairs. I was watching you play a ranked game. You were in a pub with Fear,
Yeah,
and
with
he was
Fear.
playing the Dragonite. It didn't go too well, though, did it?
No, we got bodied. I don't know if it was really his fault. We had some problems, internal issues on our team, but it's okay.
That sounds like every pub game, really.
Yeah, we didn't win.
Internal issues in
We didn't.
with a team that you've just only met. That's Dota 2.
I think we had the worst lineup, but it's whatever. A lot of the same heroes in that game, though. There was a Rubik in that one too. Sumel though off to a very good start, 6-0 already.
Yeah, I mean, this is what the panel sort of said. This sort of lane, I mean, especially with the Kotl, it's going to be tough for the Nature's Prophet, right? This is, I mean,
Oh,
we're
he
sitting
gets
here.
clipped. One
They're
more
running
hit.
him down. This
Oh,
is
he's
going to be
dead.
your first blood. For sure. They might, do they want to try and give it Samel? Yeah,
Yes.
they will. Samel takes it. Ladies and gentlemen, EG with the first blood. This is, I mean, this lane is really, really powerful. As we're seeing Beastmaster Kotl, Beastmaster IO, something that when teams are used to running it, it just wins the lane every game.
I think the new Beastmaster too. I've been saying it for a while now. It feels so incredibly powerful because there's nobody that can really lane against him. He right-clicks really hard. You just get phase boots and run at the enemy. There's not a whole, like the new axes especially feel really nice. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do against that. He's really hard to gank too because he's got so much raw HP.
Bottom lane, crit. He's being run down here. They've got the snowball, they've got the shards. Kinguin, they'll get a kill. Pados set up for action down bottom. So both off lanes getting aggressive.
Very nice block.
Yeah, perfect control there from Cancel. Still, farm-wise, Arteezy 7 for 0. Best farm on the map at the moment is Sumail up top. 12 for 2. TP now coming back in from Crit. In the mid lane matchup, what are we looking at the moment? 10 for 4 against the 9 for 2, so a little edge to Nisha. He has obviously had Ellie Sash coming in now and then to apply a bit of pressure for Fierce. So Fierce standing strong against sort of the pressure being applied.
Yeah, this Nature's Prophet only at 6 CS, but I mean, exotic deers are going to eventually move around. It's not going to be that big of an issue.
Bottom lane, quick snowball out of danger from Quetzal, but Arteezy is looking to chase here. Waveforms forwards, going in with the right clicks, hasn't got quite enough to bring down the Tusk.
Yeah. Something we should mention, by the way, is the Coddle versus Nature's Prophet interaction. When Nature's Prophet has to be your win condition, then it feels really miserable because eventually Coddle will just get Aghanim Scepter. He'll always bring somebody back. It makes it impossible for Exotic Deer to split push. But the good news is they have Terrorblade, which, in my opinion, I think is the strongest carry in the game right now. I was having a conversation with Zai this morning, and he was telling me that this hero, it just feels so strong compared to every other. And you also, if people saw Ramsey's interview as well, where he said he felt like Terrorblade was the most well-rounded core in the game.
Yeah.
Because this hero doesn't falter at any stage of the game. He's always going to be strong. And he can always just pull out wins that other heroes might not.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just so many strengths for this hero. It's like very rarely you see a Terrorblade sort of getting crushed in the lane. You know, you always have that Metamorphosis to guarantee you a wave or two or three of CS. Very strong hero overall, and a carry hero that just directly counters a lot of the other popular core heroes in this meta.
Just because of Reflection. It's so insane. Like, right now, Terrorblade is the new AM in the sense that if you have a good TB game, you can sometimes just straight up get wins that normally shouldn't happen. But again, it's I mean, the cool thing about Dota is you always have equal opportunity, right? You could have banned or picked it yourself.
Exactly, yeah. And that's I don't know the exact stats, but Terrorblade in terms of picks and bans has been in easily the majority of competitive games. Mid lane, the gank comes through. Katso moves across, has the setup, as they'll catch Fear off guard. So a second kill here for Kinguin, making those early rotations with the supports, and it's paying off. Top lane though, that is the lane that's just looking to fall to absolute pieces for Kinguin. The tier 1 tower starting to fall. They will bring Ellie Sash in to try and stop EG from getting this tower too early, but it really is on its last legs, that tower.
You see already that he has phase boots, then he just runs at you, eventually you get Necro 3, and when you play against Beastmaster teams, you have to have a lot of discipline. Like, this is where you'll kind of get a general gauge of how good Kinguin is, because it's a very vision-based hero. Nice rotation, those Sumail should go down here.
They're looking for the blocks here with Treants. They've got the shards as well surrounding Sumail. They'll find him. These movements, Katso, he has definitely been the big one for making the 3 kills, the 3 plays so far, from bottom to middle to top. This Tusk all over the place and really alleviating some of the pressure that EG have been able to apply.
Yeah. Laning-wise, EG still a little bit ahead because of how well their top lane is done, but Katsor is playing very well. I mean, this Kinguin squad has a lot of talent.
Yeah.
I know personally that a lot of teams were trying to poach Nisha. Like, this is a very talented guy. He refused to leave,
Nisha,
though.
I was going to say, Nisha, I've seen when we sort of had them back in the Dream League and such, his carry performances were incredibly solid. It's like, as you said, there's a lot of talent on Kinguin's side, but Nisha, he seems to never falter.
And up the top, Katsor going to make this rotation again, this time onto Sumail, but Sumail standing strong. And this is what we're talking about. The Beastmaster's so strong.
Oh, the 3-man telekinesis done as well, holding them down. Sumail is falling low, though. At least Ash trying to get him. But as you say, just the damage that comes out from this Beastmaster, way too much to deal with. They've got eyes on Katsor as well. They'll snowball across, will be able to cancel the Sao. But Sumail throws out the axes and will get the triple kill at 6 minutes in. Beastmaster, I mean, Sumail is absolutely owning with the hero. The backup at the start, of course, was crucial from the Keep of the Light, but now it's just insane how much damage this hero can do. You have to be so careful when you get into a fight, because as soon as those axes start to stack up, you're gone.
He's also so tanky as Fear. He's going to dodge that, but a lot of heroes here.
TP in from Exotic Deer. They've got the Shard block again from Katsura. Fear will actually pop the Elder Dragon Form, trying to get as much damage out as he can before he goes down, but he will still fall. EG's there though with the backup. On the wraparound, Arteezy's been able to find the final touch onto Ellie Sash. They're looking towards Nisha. He hasn't got enough mana for Sunder, so he will get caught out as well. So they lose Fear, but EG quick to make the play and return.
Oh, they've got their own Terrorblade now.
They do, look at that. I was slightly confused then. I was looking at Arteezy and I was like, hang on. He didn't draft Terrorblade.
This is the counter to TB.
Become the TB.
Become. He's out of mana now, though, as a result of that.
Yeah, he tried to use the Metamorphosis before it comes out, but it doesn't work like that, does it? I think, you know, he was trying. You never know with Dota 2 if it would work or not, but you don't get the bonus because it's, I guess, because it's an aura, isn't it? Metamorphosis, essentially.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's why it works on the illusions. When you get too far away, it doesn't proc it.
Probably ages ago it would have worked because it did used to be different, didn't it? Where you could put the illusions all across the map and they would just have Metamorphosis during the time. But yeah, now it's a little different. Dota 2.
I think that was kind of broken. It's just to make it so that you have to. There's got to be some risk.
Yeah, I mean,
if
you have Metamorphosized illusions in every lane, that's it's a little bit OP. But even so, yeah, cute little play from Arteezy there, becoming the Terrorblade.
Things are fine though. Look at this stack.
This is
win. This is their comeback.
It's got a couple of those nasty ancient prowlers though.
You don't like those?
No.
They're cute.
They're very cute when they take down to half health and get you killed.
Oh, and you're a carry. They should never bother you as mid.
Lane. They've got the Ice Path onto Arteezy, but he's already morphing into Strength. He will be okay. Kinguin not quite able to get the control onto that morphling, but yeah, 2k lead at the moment for EG. As you say though, if they do clear that stack out, that'll certainly help even things up.
Yep. That stack represents even for Kinguin, which when you lose the top tower though, it makes it a little bit difficult to do, which is why EG is making their rotation over. And for Kinguin, they've got to protect this stack at all costs. That's why Nisha even pops the meta to try to do this as fast as possible.
Do we know if EG are aware of it? Have they seen this stack?
I'm almost certain they're aware of it.
They'll be aware.
Oh, Sumail threw out the axis. He might have gotten a few of those we didn't see. So now he gets blocked out.
Oh, he can still walk around. Will be caught out by the Ice Path though. They try and surround him. Sumail just turns. He roars. He moves in with the axis. The Necro books as well. Ellie Sash is gone. They do have the snowball. The right click as well for Nisha with the Metamorphosis. It's not going to be enough. Sumail still alive. Turns with the axes. He falls incredibly. The Nature's Wrath bringing him down to about 10 HP. They really want this kill on the Beastmaster.
Oh, they don't find him.
TP's in, but he's gone for the wrong direction. Still finds the kill though. Does manage to move down, close the gap with his own phase boots, as I believe Sumail's was still on cooldown. So they do get the kill, but as we can see this, you got to be so careful about how you go about bringing down this Beastmaster, because he will turn and just dish out insane amounts of damage.
Yeah, that was absurd, but at the same time, that's such a big kill for Kinguin.
Yeah.
The Nature's Prophet was struggling really hard before
now he's
that.
got drums.
Yeah. Now he's barely behind Arteezy farm. And when it comes to the cores, all three of the cores are quite healthy right now. And they were able to kill Sumail once, who tops the lead.
As we saw, that pretty impressive win rate from Exotic Deer's Nature's Prophet. 7 wins, 1 loss. That's not too shabby at all.
Yeah, I think they run it the right way. When I saw, I think it was Vici run it, when Nature's Prophet has to be the reason why you win or lose, it's going to be a little bit rough. Whereas it feels like he's more of an accessory core. It's the same when people pick Razor. I feel like when teams like Liquid or Secret pick it, it doesn't necessarily have to win or lose the game for you. But when a lot of other teams pick it, they pick it as a true 1 position, and I don't think it works like that.
It's easy. Down bottom. Should be fine. He's a Morphling. Just get snowballed, but no real attempt there from the side of Kinguin. I mean, it is a hard hero to kill. What's sort of the best ways that Kinguin can kill a Morphling this game? Is there any sort of itemization they have to go, or...?
No, you can just wait. Like, eventually, Nature's Prophet might even build something like a Bloodthorn himself.
Yeah.
Like, look at his item build. He's exactly going for that.
Okay.
He's going to go for the Orchid. That's going to be a form of control. It's just a good all-around item, too, in this game. All they really have to do, though, is buy space. They want this TB to try to get... probably take, like, 3 slots, go for things like Roshan, and then they can just split up the map. It's hard for them to go for direct 5-man pushes, though, is the downside of Kinguin's lineup, because you are playing against a Nature's Prophet, or a Coddle. And Coddle's almost always going to keep all the lane shoved in, and at the same time, the recall is so powerful against split push.
Crit and Misery. Now, smoked up. Make the move. Almost certainly just going out to get a ward down. If they could find some action, they'll certainly go for it. Nisha is in the mid lane at the moment on Terrorblade.
They should connect to top, but they just get spotted right here by Nisha. And they're pinging, but they wanted to run this Sumail, get the kill onto Exotic Deer, and then take this tower. And that's how you open up more of the map.
They do get a ward down there that keeps eyes on the Ancients, but if you notice as well, as soon as he went up, Ellie Sash was pinging. He knows that obviously off the back of that, EG were going to put a ward down, so that ward should get dewarded by Kinguin. Good awareness there.
Yes. And it's a 3k lead, but it's not scary at all. A lot of it comes on the heels of how well this Beastmaster's doing, but it's a Beastmaster that's at the top of the net worth charts. It feels a little bit deceptive in that regard. Because you'd rather have this kind of net worth on your Morphling, right?
Sumail, seeing if he could chase down Exotic Deer, but Exotic Deer keeps his distance with the drums. That's easy. Becoming the Omni Knight there to trade back the Purification.
Okay.
I'm honestly, I've got to say, out of all the Morph players I've seen, Arteezy is definitely the best one about actually utilizing the ult.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. There was a period, of course, when Morph initially got changed where everyone was playing it, spamming it, but no one really dared touch the ultimate. Arteezy, definitely one of the first pros to actually be able to make it have some very, very strong and clutch uses in team fights.
The best is when you get to play against Earth Spirit, because you get all the abilities, you get to kick around, it's really cool.
That's true, and I guess you can use his stones as well before he does.
Crit, trying to look for an opportunity. He's got the Purification, so they want to make this dive happen on the Jakiro, but Kinguin are doing a very good job of keeping that top tower alive. I really like this. And instead, their eyes towards the stack, but they even ward up their own stack. Like Kinguin's vision right now, it's very, very good. It's a smart team. They might even find crit as a result of this.
With the slowdown, Snowball coming through as well. They will surround him. The Sprout, crit, tries to turn with the Fadebolt. Nice blast back from Misery to hold Kinguin off with the sharp block from Katsu on point. Cutting crit's entry of escape off. They are having to poke into him slowly but surely, and he has got Purification, so they don't quite have enough damage. Exotic Deer tries with the TP. That repel there from Pados, making sure that he could get out without any worry of a stun from Finn. So
But they
Kinguin
are making
escape.
their way to the stack.
Crit.
They want to defend this. They should know that there's a ward now too on the side of EG.
Yep, the Nature's Wrath hit, and look, there's
He
that
got
Ancient
rooted.
Prowler going to work. It's the hero, the Ancient that we all hate. And Crit will pay the price because of it. They got a couple of the smaller Ancients, I think, from the Axe spam from Sumail, but the majority of it is still there for Kinguin.
Yeah, and they're low now too.
We'll see if Kinguin can protect the rest of it. Katsu cutting off Sumail and Misery. They really want that stack. If Sumail can
Go
get
from the
around and throw
backside.
some axes in, they could still take some of it themselves, EG. That'll do 1, 2, 3. They are taking a
That's
decent portion of it away from Kinguin.
That's all they needed. They cleared the majority of that stack. They needed one of their cores to rotate in. Like Nisha had to be there a little bit sooner, I think, to secure this. And Misery continuing to blast.
Panos. Make sure he gets the last one, but he could be in trouble. The roar comes out from Sumail. Repel is out in time from Pados. Pados will survive. They do have that level 3 Neko out in the right position, so they managed to de-ward the Observer placed down by Kinguin that, as you said, they knew about because of the Nature's Wrath hitting crit earlier.
Look how annoying Sumail's being right now. Like he's created so much pressure on this side of the map. Alongside Misery, they've just owned this area for the past 2 minutes.
Yeah,
And Kinguin just getting shoved out of their own jungle.
Oh, it really just, honestly, like, so many times when I've seen Keeper of the Line Beastmaster get through, it just wins the lane, it wins the game. It seems to be one of those combos that you have to be so careful about laying through the draft, because it will have such an effect.
Oh, Misery getting gone on, but Exotic Deer misses. Look at
The
the reflection.
slow from the reflection, trying to move in with the Metamorphosis, but Misery, yeah, just a little too speedy. Gets out. Arteezy in the Omni Knight form has the heals. They'll still look for the snowball in. They want to dive in for this Keeper of the Light kill. They've got the Ice Path to follow up.
I guess the tree's on him too.
Misery going for the TP. Oh, and he makes it. They don't quite have enough damage to bring down the Keeper of the Light, so EG lose nothing. And EG continuing to grow that lead. Sumail, 8k net worth. It's going to be more as well as he's able to push down this top tier 2 with Fear. this Sumail Beastmaster. Honestly, it's looking absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he's...
I think this is on a level where he could definitely send out another tweet after this game. He's looking hot.
You're a punk, Owen. But you are satisfied. I think we hold the phone a little bit. You're still playing against a Terrorblade, but he's had a very good game. Like, the way that he owns the jungle, he's very aggressive with his axes. He's been scouting with the Hawk non-stop. That's what allowed them to get the control of the ancient area to begin with, is that he just keeps splitting it between. Now they're going to secure the Roshan. And when you play Beastmaster, it's so important to take this top tier 2 tower, because then it secures you Roshan almost every single time. It makes it really hard for Dire to contest that, because you can just assume that Dire needs to push in that top wave first, deal with that, and then they'll make the rotation in, but you have plenty of time in between to see that coming. So the only way that Dire makes any sort of rotation to contest your Roshan is if they go for a smoke, but you can be smart about that too, by sending somebody mid to deal with that wave at the same time, which is exactly what they did. But Kinguin, I think this is not the kind of start that you want, but I think they presume they'd be a little bit behind, maybe like 2-3k gold. They still have a Terrorblade.
Sure, and they can, as we've said, obviously use the strengths of EG against them if they get the good reflections off. Getting the Beastmaster is always nice, grabbing that aura for the fights.
Like, his farm is a little bit slowed down, but
Sumail, he's going to have solo. He's got phase level 3 Necro, solo crest pretty much at 18 minutes.
yeah, that's an insane amount of farm. Hard to understate that.
This guy knows how to play Beastmaster. He really, really does. And RT's, you know, he's right there behind him. On the small thing. 9k net worth on the Morph.
They got Ags now. On Coddle. That tier 3 at bottom is open, Owen, so what they're going to try to do is create pressure in mid, and whenever EG makes any sort of play around the map, the Nature's Prophet's going to try to go down there and hit that tower.
Wait, you just said they got Ags on, they ain't got Ags on Coddle yet, you're crazy.
Do they not?
Oh, they did? What?
What are you talking about, dude?
I'm crazy. I swear we just looked at him and he had the 2 bits still queued up. Oh, you're not.
No, he had the bits in his
Dude, I swear, his net worth just said he was on 3k. Did he drop his items or something?
Oh, and you're...
Am I going he definitely had 3k net worth, that Coddle.
Oh, and...
He dropped his items or something. He confused me. Someone, I'm sure. Anyway, down bottom. They've got the silence on him. They'll take him down once, but he has that Aegis.
Yeah. Sticking around, though. Nisha's out of mana, though. Arteezy just gonna waveform out.
A little too slippery. I mean, as we've seen, they can kill him once with the Orchid. They get that silence on him, but it's gonna be harder. As Manta style, what, 200 gold away, and that sort of play kind of becomes impossible. The telekinesis back onto Nisha. Fear with that double damage, looks for the stun. Has he got enough damage? With Arteezy jumping in, they certainly have. That's going to be Nisha gone for 50 seconds. Katsu tries for the TP out, will not make it. The damage from Fear too much. Double kill for him. Top lane Sumail just finding some solo action as he
so
gets
much
exotic
damage.
there. I don't know, Blizz. 10 for 6, 7k lead, 8k lead, 20 minutes. I think this game's going a little too fast, even for a Terrorblade to pull back. This is... I really think you cannot let EG get Beastmaster and Cole. That lane has just... It's felt like the kryptonite from Kinguin. They just could not cope with
Patos? Patos might just be dead here. Oh. That is rough. He just walked in, ran out of mana instantly. He got solar crested. He didn't anticipate that kind of damage.
that. This is crazy.
Yeah, that one was a freebie.
I'm opening Sumail's Twitter right now, but in preparation. You can he's playing with a tweet in mind, this boy. He is playing to win.
Yeah, he has been the linchpin for this team in this game. Like, Fear, we haven't seen a lot out of. He hasn't had to do too much. Same with Arteezy. It's just been this Beastmaster that has essentially created a free game for the rest of his team. And the two supports.
He's got his Blink Dagger as well. 20 minutes. I don't think I've seen a Beastmaster with this much farm at 20 minutes in quite some time.
Yeah.
Like, this is... I don't know if we get any stats. I don't know if our stats man's awake. But this is a farmed Beastmaster.
Yeah, Cat Sword. Created so much space early, but just going to go down here. And now with the Axe Coddle, makes it very hard to defend these pushes.
The push is just absolutely insane from EG.
They last year too.
It is. Kinguin really in a tricky position right now. 12k lead against them that EG have. The Manta Stout finished on Nisha, but the 3 cores of EG absolutely
Oh, he's going to get the
off.
courier.
Oh, hello. All right. Didn't have anything on, but still, it's a decent amount of money there for Kinguin to pick up.
Does that taunt happen automatically?
It does.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. So when you kill a courier, I don't know if it's all the time, but when you get a courier kill, there's definitely at least a chance that makes you taunt.
I see. I never have, I don't have good cosmetics, so I don't know this stuff.
Oh, come on, Will. Gaben could be watching.
Kinguin. They smoked. They're trying to find Sumail, and they might just do that. Depends on how fast Sumail is at this. He's going to go into the low ground. Katsor. Walk up, get Yulesed.
I mean, this is a massive kill if they can get it.
Highest net worth in the game.
Yeah, they've got the control with a snowball. Sumail will get taken down. Nice bit of money there for Exotic Deer.
Yeah.
And with the levels he's got, he's out of the map for a good amount of time. 22 minutes and dead for 70 seconds.
That's what I meant, by the way. When you make rotations up the top when you lose your tier 2, you have to smoke at that point. It's very hard to do it otherwise. But you have a limited amount of smokes, and going for the single kills isn't necessarily the best. Like, you often want to transition this into a push, which is why they're going up at top in fear, invest up.
He's on his own at the moment, so has to be careful if he tries to make some sort of play. Backups coming in, Misery with the TP across.
Coddle Blast gonna come. Maybe they just double Breathe Fire into Blast.
Here we go. There we go. We're leading in with the Dragon Tail. They go for the mana. Come to Pados, but Pados will be fine. Holds his ground, holds his position back away from the tower. Meanwhile, mid lane, Arteezy going for a bit of split push pressure. Shoving in the mid. Actually went for completing that Lincoln's before the Manta, but now he's got the money to have both done.
They're running at him right now. Exotic Deer.
It's a very hard catch.
Maybe if he goes for... No. They're nowhere near.
With Manta and Lincoln's, Arteezy is pretty much unkillable unless he screws up. Like, this Morphling is ridiculous. So what have we got? 12% higher than the previous. Oh, there he goes. 12% higher than the previous record. On there, I told you. Like this is the most farmed Beastmaster
You were
we've
correct,
seen.
though. That is.
It is absolutely insane how much he's got, and it's going to get even bigger because he's only gone and found himself Nisha. Jumps in. After this game, Beastmaster, it's got to be a ban against EG.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy for them. Like, they've used it too well. I don't know if it was the Coddle as. I can't tell what was the problem. I have to rewatch this replay later.
Arteezy pushing in on mid.
They got to deal with this, but they're gonna get
the
light.
Both lanes pushed in at this rate because you've got on the bottom Sumail bringing the army round. He's got that plus 100 wild axis damage, and that really does begin to add up once he throws a few of them out in the fights, especially, as you say, with the Cottle buff. That's the big part of it.
Can you hold this here? TV dead for 15 seconds.
I don't know if they can. This is EG. I don't know what they have for breakfast, but I've got to get me some of that. These guys are playing on absolute top form this morning, EG, in this game one. There's no question about that. 12k lead, 24 minutes in. Kinguin starting to just fall apart here. Katsor will just survive as he gets himself out, but with the axe heal from Misery, EG's back up to full health.
Look at that reflection. Arteezy's almost dead. That is a great ability.
And Kinguin just can't stop this. Crit with a stolen ice path. Out onto the dragon. Ellie Sash falling down low. Arteezy turns into the Terrorblade.
TB
and
on
is
TV.
now starting to beat in. Nisha tries to go for the Sunder, but the Lincoln Sphere blocks it. Nisha looking to escape, but Arteezy moves forward, takes down the Terrorblade. This game feeling like it's absolutely over. Exotic Deer, he's trying for the wrap. On the top lane, the Nature's Prophet, he's going for it. But the mid lane, those racks will fall as well. The buybacks coming out from Kinguin. Exotic Deer still split pushing up top. 3 buybacks out from Kinguin as they are throwing everything into this last attempt to put EG to rest. Arteezy will be fine, starts to morph back up to strength, turns, blast them back. Look at the ice path onto free. Coming out with the stolen GA. EG will be fine at the moment with this retreat. In fact, they're thinking about sticking around. They're looking to go back forward. The blast comes out, healing them once again. Katsor snowballs forward. Arteezy wave forms himself back to safety. Crit may fall. Misery has lost his life. Crit will get trapped up by the Sprout. Exotic Deer gets 2. They do get the ice path onto Arteezy. Maybe they could get the morph as well. Where are they going to find it? Kinguin will be able to get 3. They're looking for Sumail. They have the Sprout on him. They're bringing him back up. He's going for the TP. They won't quite be able to cancel it there.
And Fear, he's invised up. He
Oh.
wants to make this move. He's going to get this kill.
Oh, he's looking for both. But
This
he's been
might have been a little
sprouted.
too greedy.
Oh, he's been artesied. He's been held down. If that sprout wasn't there, that would have been a double kill for Fear.
Oh,
But with that,
Fear.
they will get out of there. So Kinguin, I mean, they got some kills out of it. And look at the top lane. They did manage to get half of the top racks with that split push from Exotic Deer.
Yeah. Oh, he went for the 2-for-1 play. And if he just went for the Nature's Prophet with the stun, I think he gets at least one, and that's fine. A little bit too greedy.
The greed. 16 to 10, still 14k lead. They have found 2 racks themselves. And Exotic Deer, if he can pull this one through with his split push Nature's Prophet play, I mean, there is a reason why his win rate, as we've seen in competitive, is what, 87.5% on the hero. That would be absolutely something in this game.
Yeah. I would say that it'd be possible if not for the Keeper of the Light. Because normally when you play in these kinds of games, Keeper of the Light or Nature's Prophet will split up and force a 4-on-5. Like, that is the strength of Nature's Prophet as a hero, is that you always force the advantageous fight. Because this hero doesn't come with any natural fighting abilities.
This is a male. He's got a lot of money, this kid. He's thinking about what he wants to buy. Does he want to get a heart?
Yeah. So look at bottom. Like, Arteezy should be shoving this in. And when Exotic Deer goes for the split push, normally you can't go for both, right? But EG, what they'll do is they'll leave their Morphling.
Oh, look at this, though. Kinguin.
Yeah, this is a nice move by them.
Yeah, if they can get
find
Sumail, that's the biggest hero. Straight in with the first stun, they surround him. Looking to bring Sumail down. Blast Sprout will be there from Misery, but Exotic Deer's already there on the sideline. Sprouts at Misery. Sumail, he gets the roar out, but Sumail, he's going to fall. The final touch coming through from Nisha. Kinguin, if they can do it this game, that is going to be, honestly, I'll be speechless.
Yeah, that'll be an outstanding comeback. They played that amazingly well. What they did is they silenced the Keeper of the Light so that he couldn't bring the Morphling in. So they ensured that 4-on-5. Like, they...
Look, Roshan's up, and there's no Sumail.
This is sick. That was incredible.
He's going to buy back. He knows that they can't give up this. But his Sumail dies again. This is risky, and look at this. They want to fight Kinguin.
Oh, Fear's getting low
They're
already.
going pretty deep. They've managed to get the control with the Ice Bar. Fear on the front lines. If it all gets forced back, he's got the Shadow Amulet, but they've got the Dust. They take down Fear. Fear's gone for 70 seconds. Sumail has to be careful. Exotic Deer's there with the wraparound. Has the Sprout. The rest of Kinguin coming through. Do they have the control? Doesn't look like it. Fear will get... Sumail, sorry, will get out of there. But they lose Fear. Kinguin, they will have to head back and deal with Arteezy. Arteezy trying for the push.
He's getting really low here, though. The reflection absolutely eats him, and now the TP coming in from the Nature's Prophet.
No, oh, the Ice Buff! Not quite in time.
They would have killed him.
That was so close.
Oh, they would have... I think they would have chased and killed him. That was so crucial. That's step one as Misery. Nobody quite near him, but Catsaur just a little bit out of range. And Fear has to understand, like, he's not that tanky. This Terrorblade will still chew him.
Back around the pit. 20 seconds without the Dragon Knight.
I really think Sumail needs a BKB. Like, Heart is a cool item and all, but getting a BKB makes this hero nearly invincible. Even though you're ahead, single kills like that make quite the difference. Like, he lost so much net worth with that death and that buyback. They were trying to secure Roshan. They weren't able to do that. Now this game feels more tense than it should.
Yeah, Arteezy certainly making the big play, though. They're in mid in that sense that, you know, they lose Fear, but because Arteezy is shoving the lanes in, means that despite no Dragon Knight for 70 seconds, Kinguin were unable to go into the pit themselves. And now EG back as a full 5-man. They'll go for the smoke play. But at the same time, so are Kinguin.
It's nighttime. Kinguin have to do this at night. They have to force a fight wherever they can.
I mean, as we've seen, if Kinguin get a good angle and they can pick off the right targets in the right order, they can dismantle EG.
Yeah. They're going to run into each other here as Crit. He's the first one spotted.
Who are they going to go and jump forward? They managed to get the Warriors punch onto Arteezy, but still with the waveform, Arteezy will be fine. Nisha puts the Metamorphosis, looks towards Fear. Sumail comes in on the back lines, has the roar down onto the Dragon, but there's the save. The Snowball comes out, buying time for the Nisha to live.
Under.
But indeed, that's the big one down. Terrorblade is gone. Arteezy cleaning things up a little bit with the E-Blade that he brings to the fight. Exotic Deer will be unable to TP out of there. And with 3 dead on Kinguin without buyback, it is GG well played. EG will take game 1. Couple of hiccups at the end, but overall, it really was EG playing on another level. That Sumail Beastmaster, it felt like he had the easiest game of his life for the most part.
He did. Him and Misery completely tore this game open. Anybody else could have played those other 3 heroes, and I felt like they would have won that.
Damn.
But Misery and Sumail played this game phenomenally. They were in Kinguin's face all the time. Just the 2 of them is all that they needed. They contested the stack.
Absolutely. And I think, as you say, if Misery and Sumail didn't win that top lane so hard, and the game was, say, more even coming out the laning stage, it would not have looked great for EG.
Yeah.
Like, Kinguin would have definitely had a chance.
Yeah, that was otherwise like, and they had 1 or 2 really good engagements, but their lineup just couldn't really hold that top area.
No.
They didn't have a hero that could support the Nature's Prophet in that regard. They got 1 or 2 kills, but it feels like these early laning phase deaths don't mean as much anymore. Like, you can get a kill with his Tusk, but he has to constantly do it.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how in the draft this Beastmaster Keeper of the Light combo is addressed by Kinguin, because it will take them down. Game 1 going to Evil Geniuses.
Thank you very much, gents. Yes, game 1 in the bag for Evil Geniuses. They do take a convincing victory, despite a few sloppy mistakes, because sloppy seems to be the word of the day. But they do manage to take that first one. Let's find out from our panel what they made of that. Cat.
Messy.
A little bit sloppy.
There's another word
to
for
use
you.
your Yet again.
I'll bring up my thesaurus.
Yeah, no, I don't mind. It's a good word.
Yeah.
But actually, I mean, I wrote down, because Will, it's funny, Will wrapped up on that, and he said, Sumail, Misery, you could have played any other 3 heroes with those 2 guys, because they were epic in that game.
Yeah, I think that the opening from EG, look, we've seen this Coddle Beastmaster. If
Yep.
you've been watching the NA qualifiers, you've seen this. In fact, I feel like arguably EG used the Beastmaster Coddle and defeated one of the strongest combos out there against Complexity, which was the Sand King Chen that they were running. They actually handled that whole entire situation. So if I was, going through replays, like, I would identify that as being one of the strongest combinations for EG. Kinguin let them have it, and in return, they got something that they thought was kind of OP, which was they got the Omni-Knight and the Terrorblade. I personally did not like their draft at all, but to their credit, the Terrorblade was almost OP enough to be able to win the game. So
I feel like if EG had a different carry, yes. If the carry matchup was better, but I feel like Morphling is going to be Terrorblade at some stage.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
he has so much magic burst, because he's difficult to kill, because he can just become Terrorblade himself occasionally. There was once or twice there where that was actually impactful. I just think EG could do whatever they wanted this game after 10 minutes. That's what it felt. I mean, Beastmaster was sitting in the tier 2 top by himself at 12 minutes, just slapping the tower. There weren't even creeps there.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
That was a performance for the ages on Sumail, on his Beastmaster. 22 minutes in, he was 13.5k net worth. The previous highest on record is not even 12k. He was absolutely massive in that game and just took away so much. We've talked about how that the aggro dual lanes have become so key in the NA meta recently, and we've seen so many of the NA teams struggle in this tournament when they get knocked out of that set really early on, but EG just had the answer in that game.
We were talking about it backstage and whether or not the Coddle, like with the Coddle Beastmaster duo, what do you ban in this situation, right? And I think there are 2 different problems. First of all, the Beastmaster doesn't actually need the Chakra Magic. If you look at the build-up, you can actually buy 3 Soaping Masks, and you can play the same way that Sumail is playing in that game. He doesn't need Chakra Magic past 10 minutes. So you can just get another enabler for the Beastmaster, and you can have a similar performance. Maybe not quite as good, but it is going to be pretty similar. I've watched Sumail do this Beastmaster a number of times, and he could just do this constantly. He's just throwing axes through neutrals and through lanes and farming up like a machine. So you can get different enablers, but I do think Coddle gives you too many options when it comes to draft in general. I think it's actually more of a key hero for EG because in this game, it defeats the split push of the Nature's Prophet. It defends towers to be able to create this space for Beastmaster to play the side lanes the whole entire game. I mean, Sumail didn't have to defend a tower almost a single time, I think, in this because they had Coddle, they had Dragon Knight, so they could always double blast a wave, and they can slow down pushes really well.
And there was constantly a threat in other places on the map as well. Like Morphling did have a little bit of 1v1 versus Omni, but he did well enough. And then eventually he had enough items where he could be a threat to his support, or him +1 heroes a kill. And then Dragon Knight's moving around the game with the Shadow Blade looking for kills. Like it was like everybody in EG did exactly what they were supposed to do. Sumail died a couple times, yes, but it never really mattered because I knew that the other 2 cores on EG were being efficient, and that it was just going to be an eventual thing.
Yeah, and I think that the big play toward the end, which you brought up in the intro, Paul, is really telling. That great smoke by Kinguin where they pick off Sumail in the top lane. It's a great play, but it's almost the exception that proves the rule, because when you're playing against that Beastmaster Coddle spam, the lanes are on your side of the map the whole time. And yeah, you're eventually going to make a big play off of smoke, but it's hard to catch a team out like that multiple times.
Okay, we're going to take a break. We will be heading into game number 2 very shortly. Plenty of questions for the hometown team. To ban or not to ban is certainly one of them. We'll see you in a bit. But don't forget, we've also got the Play Faster by Vodafone coming up a little later. Wonder what one will feature in that. Maybe we'll get a really fast first blood in the next game. Who knows? Stay tuned.
Like, as you said, there's a lot of talent on Kinguin's side, but Nisha, he seems to never falter.
And up the top, Castro are going to make this rotation again, this time onto Sumail, but Sumail standing strong. And this is what we're talking about. The Beastmaster's so strong.
Oh, the 3-man telekinesis done as well, holding them down. Sumail is falling low, though. At least that's trying to get him. But as you say, just the damage that comes out from this Beastmaster, way too much to deal with. They've got eyes on Katsu as well. He'll snowball across, will be able to cancel the Sao. But Sumail throws out the axes and will get the triple kill at 6 minutes in. Beastmaster.
Life is all about following a few simple rules.